When saying no becomes a lifeline. Welcome to your daily hit of grace and grit, your quick dose of inspiration to kickstart your day. This show is proudly sponsored by Rumble and Rise. To find out more about joining Rumble and Rise, head on over to graceandgrit.com/ready to rumble. I'm Courtney Townley, and here is today's hit. I once worked with a woman who was exhausted in a way that no amount of sleep could touch. In fact, I worked with a lot of women in that camp. You know this kind of tired, the kind that you literally feel in your bones, the kind that comes from a lifetime of being dependable, capable, reliable, accommodating, while steadily disappearing from your own life. So on paper, this client looked like she was thriving. She was kind, she was competent, she was wildly successful, the one that everyone could count on at work, at home, in her community. From the outside, you'd think she had it all figured out. She had it all handled. But under the surface, she was imploding. And she felt invisible. She told me she literally felt like she had been edited from her own story. The more she gave, the less she recognized herself. And I remember a coaching call with this client where I asked her a very simple question. When was the last time you said no to something that you knew in your bones didn't work for you? And she paused. And then she said, I honestly can't remember, Courtney. And it wasn't because she never wanted to say no, but because saying no felt literally unthinkable. Somewhere along the way, her worth became tangled up with being endlessly available to everyone but herself. So, of course, we dove into the practice of setting boundaries, which was wildly uncomfortable and incredibly awkward and terrifying for her. So we had to make it small. Her first boundary was very small, not dramatic, not cinematic. She declined one project, an extra project at work, with a very short and honest explanation. I don't have the resources to take this on and do it well. Simple and direct. And of course, she was terrified to send the email in which she said that. Her hands quivered probably a little bit as she hit that enter button, the send button. She fully expected fallout, disappointment, frustration, judgment from her coworkers, from her boss. But you know what happened? Which is so often what happens when we set boundaries? Nothing. Nothing exploded. No one was furious. The sun rose the next morning. The world kept turning. And she felt something that I don't know if she has felt ever, but certainly hasn't felt in a very long time, which was this quiet surge of relief and an unmistakable rise of self-respect and even a little more peaceful. A single boundary, a small boundary, became her proof. Proof that she could honor herself without abandoning others. Proof that protecting her well-being was not selfish, it was necessary. Proof that the version of her who kept everyone else afloat deserved the same devotion. So this is what I mean when I talk about self-leadership in the Consistency Code and in all the spaces and places I teach. Self-leadership is not about becoming harder or tougher. It's about becoming more honest. Honest about what you can offer. Honest about your true resource availability. Honest about what offering anything costs you, because it always costs you. And if you have a lot in the tank, great. It's a wonderful time to give a lot. But when you have run the well dry, it is definitely worth considering what you might need to say no to. If this stirred something inside of you, imagine what a whole book of clarity and courage could ignite. The Consistency Code, a midlife woman's guide to deep health and happiness, goes even deeper into the mindset and practices that create real, meaningful change at midlife. Grab your copy today over at theconsistencycode.com and keep the momentum alive.